There's a couple of things that I know now that I didn't like doing. I didn't like being managed by people, and I don't like on-site work. And obviously at the start, I wasn't doing any tiling. It was just coming in and wash my trowels, like cleaning tools down.
For a company that's employing you, for you to sort of dip in and out.
Yeah, no, I know. Looking back at it, I do think to myself, I think, God,
Yeah, they've allowed you to do that. Fair play to them.
I used to say all the time how much I hated it. Honestly.
Did you?
Yeah, honestly, man.
And why was that? Because it was the same constantly.
I think it was a mixture of
site work is monotonous. It's the same. You don't gain any. It's great for cutting your teeth and learning, but you never push yourself. But like you were saying outside earlier on, people have started nicking your content, haven't they? So how's all that? How does that work? New episode of Trade Legends, and it is with what I'm going to say from a trade point of view as the most diva-ish trade we have going. I do a lot of bathrooms, and whenever I have my tilers come in, they always say the walls have got to be perfect and this, that and the other. So today we've got Jack the Tiler. You might know him from Instagram and TikTok as well, Jack, isn't it?
TikTok as well.
YouTube, not so much?
No, not so much. Going to try and make our way into that probably start of next year a little bit more.
Okay, so Instagram, TikTok. If you don't follow him, Jack will put all the links in the description below. But we've got Jack the Tiler on to talk everything tiling and just basically a brief sort of outline of where you started, how you got into it, all that sort of stuff. You've watched the show before. You know the sort of process that we go through. So I'll hand over to you. Give a little bit of a brief intro of what you're all about, Jack.
Okay. Well, we've been tiling for about 8 years now. And I ended up just falling into tiling, actually, weirdly.
What, straight from school?
No. So, basically, if we go back to what I was doing before tiling, I was actually working in the gym and was really into personal training.
How old are you?
28.
Okay, so you're 20, just so we know roughly timelines, we know where we're at.
Yeah, so I was about 19. I was working in a gym.
Yeah.
That's what I came into straight out of school. So I went down to my local gym that had just opened, and I was on reception there basically, and just training up to do personal training.
Right.
And that just I enjoyed working in the gym environment, but didn't enjoy doing all of the sort of training to become a personal trainer, and I was just going out all the time, to be honest, and was just not interested in doing any of it.
Really?
And ended up losing my job there.
Oh, for what? For not?
Just not turning up in the morning, because I always had the 6 a.m. starts, having to open at the gym and everything. So I was basically just was it just like a pure gym or something? It's just a private bodybuilding gym. So
right.
I was really looking into bodybuilding and training at the time. So it was a good environment to be working in, but then I was just
partying.
Yeah, partying all the time.
Yeah, 19. Was it you say you're 19? 19, you don't want to be opening gyms at 6 in the morning.
Not at 6 o'clock in the morning. So there was constantly the early starters waiting outside the gym, and I hadn't opened it. And I'd be turning up at half an hour late. It's people.
I bet you was getting grief.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I was, and the owner of the gym, bless him, I get on with him really well still, but he didn't want me there anymore.
He was like, no, that's it.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. So I was jobless for a little bit. And then I was at a friend's family party, and it just so happened that their auntie was trying to get a job for her son.
Right, okay.
With a tiling firm.
Yeah.
But he was too young and he didn't drive at the time. I was driving, and I was chatting with her because I was jobless. And she actually gave me their number basically and said, look, there's an opportunity. These guys are looking for a tiler.
And you had no tiling experience, nothing?
No tiling. I'd done a little bit of labouring,
okay.
Just slabbing and
so
stuff.
So no
and
construction
background
or anything? Parents, nothing to do with construction?
Dad's a tattoo artist.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Dad's a tattoo.
Wow.
He's got a tattoo shop. And
you got a few tattoos,
yeah,
haven't you?
I got tattoos and stuff. Yeah. And so no, just really...
So completely left field from that then?
Yeah, totally. So it was really just something different. And once again, I still get on with these guys now who I trained up with, done an on-site apprenticeship, but I just dropped them a voicemail message, and he used to joke about it with me all the time. I was like, I still remember the voicemail message he sent me. It was kind of oh, my name's Jack.
So the woman would give you the number and you just voicemailed him saying...
Yeah, I think it must have been once I got home or something. I don't really remember dropping it to him, but he always used to joke about it with me, saying, I still remember you your young voice on the phone, sort of thing, saying that you're interested in starting. And yeah, he got me in.
But you know what? You get that a lot of the time. You'll speak to apprentices, or I've known of apprentices where they get the parents to ring the company.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got any jobs for my little Joey or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
So the fact that at 19 you've even messaged them, as someone with a company, you'd go, do you know what? Fair play to him for actually reaching out to us, opposed to getting the parents to do it or writing a letter. So you've dropped them a voicemail. They've gone, yeah, right, come and have a go. And you've just started with them.
Yeah, I started in with her. And yeah, you know, I get a lot of messages now about people saying, "Oh, what's the best way to get into the industry?"
Yeah.
And without, like, I feel so grateful that I got in it the way I did. You know, like get on an apprenticeship on site with a reputable firm.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of just
Was it a big company?
They're fairly big. They had about 15 lads working
okay.
for them. Certain Stone Ceramics.
Right.
You know, they're based in Certain Coalfield. It was all on site, new build sort of work.
So you was going in, sort of like doing the kitchen splashbacks.
Yeah, kitchen splashbacks.
I remember when I did site work, you'd get the tiling firm and they'd come and do like 4 plots at once.
Yeah.
Like we've got kitchen to do in these 4 and the bathroom, and they just come in, blitz it, and go.
Yeah, man.
So he's doing that.
Yeah. So, and obviously at the start, I wasn't doing any tiling. It was just coming in and watching. A lot of it was labouring to start with. Wash my trowels, you know, like cleaning tools down. A lot of like observation work and just like watching how things are done, and then you gradually move on to grouting their work up.
Was you always with the same bloke?
Yeah.
Was he all right?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're amazing. And once again, still being in that period of life where I was going out all the time, they put up with a lot. They put up with a lot of
so
me, man.
Still,
like,
even after getting fired, you were still going, no, I'm still going to go out.
I was, unfortunately, yeah.
Fair play, yeah.
And, you know, Tom dragged me through it, and like he kept me in. And
so how long was it from sort of starting to being able to, they let you loose on having a go at?
I'd say about 12 months before I actually started even putting tiles up. Yeah, like starting off with little simple things like kitchen splashbacks.
Yeah.
And probably started going off on my own after about 2 years then.
Right.
With that on my own with that company.
Yeah.
So, you know, and when I say off on my own, it'd be that like I'd jump in the van with them in the morning, we'd go on site, load out, and I'd be put into a plot on my own or something. So, you know, we'd all be on the same site. But to be honest with you, even then, after being in for a couple of years, it was doing that type of work. I didn't enjoy it though. Like,
I might be massively wrong, but is it? It's easy tiling, isn't it?
It's
because
easy.
it's the same. When you're buying a new house from a plot, you get offered, right, it's this plot. You can have the choice of 3 different three different styles of tile. Do you want it half height? Do you want it full height? So you know what you're doing. Yeah. Plot after plot after plot.
Generic. It's like really generic.
So you weren't using your brain after a while.
Nah,
you just go in and
not
go
like
through the motions.
walking into a bathroom every morning and kind of being like, having to decipher how to set it out or anything like that. You know, it is very much like you know what you're doing every single day.
So you was sort of like a good few years in, and you was like, I need to.
Yeah, I honestly, I used to say all the time how much I hated it. You know, honestly,
Did you?
Yeah, honestly, man.
And why was that? Because it was the same constantly.
I think it was a mixture of being the time of life, my life that I was in. I was unmotivated. You know, I didn't really want to be doing it. I was doing it because it was a job and like, you know,
money at the end of the week to go out on the last.
Yeah. You know, I needed to be doing something.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was what I had at the time, and it's what when you're committing to something somewhat, you kind of, and you don't really know what else you want to be doing. You just like stick at it.
And then all of a sudden you're doing that, you're earning X amount a week or a month, however. You don't want to go too far the other way because you're earning half decent money.
Yeah.
You better the devil, you know, innit?
Yeah.
You're doing that. I'm not enjoying it, but it's a regular paycheck at the end of the week.
Yeah.
But that can then make you go, oh, do you know what? It's just getting sick of it. So you weren't enjoying it at all?
No, I wasn't. I think then at the age of, I'm at the age of about 22, 23, I pulled away from it as well then, and I just kind of pulled away from the site work, started trying to do some of my own stuff.
Still working with a company?
Doing a little, it was also, honestly, it was so like mismatched for years because it was like I'd be in with the company, not really be happy doing it. So then I'd like pull away, trying to do some of my own stuff.
What, you'd leave the company?
And because I was on such good terms with, I was friends with the guys like, who were owning it. So it was kind of, if I was like, guys, I just like, I need a break for a bit. I want to like try and do something on my own. They'd be like,
what, and they were letting you have like a couple of weeks off or months off?
Yeah, or just like, they wouldn't be like totally happy about it. But it was kind of like, yeah, Jack, you know, if that's what you got to do, go and do what you've got to do sort of
and
thing.
They were all right with it?
Yeah,
Wow.
you know, like they had lads working for them, but there wasn't like, they didn't like totally rely on me. You know, I wasn't, you know, I wasn't their star. But for
a company that's employing you, for you to sort of dip in and out.
Yeah, no, I know. Looking back at it, I do think to myself, and I think, God, you know, and that's why I say, no, I truly am like grateful to them for
they've allowed you to do that, and it's like you say, when you're not enjoying it, I'm having a month off or whatever.
Yeah.
Fair play to them.
I think it is. I think. When that's kind of sin, I was in a position where I wasn't enjoying what I was doing, and they could, you know, just tell that I didn't want to be there. Basically, they were just kind of like, well, yeah, you know, if you don't want to be here, then yeah, go and do whatever you've got to do.
Fair play. So in that time when you was like away from them, was you doing bits?
I went off and started doing some of my own stuff. Once again, really just like really blotchy, like trying to, and you know, at the beginning stages of trying to start up your own business, no matter what it is you're doing. I think, you know, it's always going to be quite bitty. And
so was you thinking at that point, I want to start my own company doing it?
I was, but once again, I don't think I realised like how hard it was actually going to be to like get off and do my own thing. And believe it or not, I ended up back in with them again about 12 months later.
But it's mad that you say that you weren't enjoying it, but then when you weren't doing it, you was doing it for yourself and trying to set up a business doing it.
Yeah, and so what I realise now is actually there's a couple of things that I know now that I didn't like doing. I didn't like being managed by people, and I don't like on-site work.
Yeah,
I hate on-site work.
Site work is. I've done site work before, and it is monotonous. It's the same. It's very. You don't gain any. It's great for cutting your teeth and learning, but you never push yourself with it because it's constantly the same.
Yeah.
You're going to have the same, from my point of view, it's the same bathroom, boiler, rads, plot after plot after plot. It might be a little bit different. You might go from a 3-bed to a 2-bed to a 5-bed. So it might, but you're not using your brain. There's no bits in it from a plumbing point of view. You're not fault finding because it's all brand new.
Yeah.
You know, with that, I suppose it was all the walls. I was joking about, you know, my Tyler saying the walls have got to be spot on. New builds, everything is spot on. So you're not having to get over problems, are you?
Well, actually, for me though, there was some serious problems though, like on new builds.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when you said that earlier, I thought, well, actually, that's something I can definitely talk about in relation to one of the last sites. So about 3 years ago is when I was like last in with this firm. I worked with them for a couple of years towards the end, and before I officially went off on my own, started doing my own thing. And it was a site in Leicester.
Yeah.
And like you're talking about with like putting a 6 foot level on the wall, and you could fit like 3 fingers like behind the level. Like walls were just like horribly.
So just to put it, just for people that haven't seen tilers doing what they do. I get it. My tilers will come in. Shout out to my tilers, Nathan, Matty, because they're gold, and they'll probably watch this and they'll come for me. A tiler will come into a room. The first thing you will do is this, right, Jack? The first thing you do is get a 6 foot level, plonk it on the wall, and rock it from side to side to make sure that the wall has got no bows in it.
Yeah.
Because as Nath messaged me earlier, what did he put? Let me quickly pull it up, because I said to him about it, and his reply was. Where did he get?
Tiles can't bend round walls.
That was it. Tiles don't bend round walls, son. Is what he said. And is that right? Is that right?
Man. Yeah, you know, I think just going back to that, like with the on-site thing, like some of the old boys on site, they'd be like, "Oh, you can get over that, son. You can get over it." And it's like, well, but why? Like, why though? You know, like why?
Yeah.
Because and it is from the base upwards. You know, if all the stud work hasn't been put in right, the borders and the plasterers come in and think, well, the studs haven't been put right, so I'm not going to do my bit right, and then they don't do that bit right, and then all of a sudden the tilers get left to have to pick everything up.
Because the tiling is the last bit of that wall that someone will see.
You know, so and all the time on site, you don't get it so much in domestic work because everybody a bit more pride in people's work when in private work, but on site, it was every single bathroom, and that's what I began to get sick of. And we got to the point where I was like, I'm not tiling it.
So there'd be like a 20, 30 mil out or more.
Honest to God, Mark, you could one of the really bad walls, you could put 3 fingers behind the level, and it was just a 6 foot level on the wall. Yeah, like especially around by where the windows are.
So you like you say, you try and push a tile against that, it's either going to snap down the middle, or you've got to pack it out.
Or you got to you got to put like fists worth of adhesive, behind it, and that's not how tiling. It's not how tiling should be done. Because
you're going to lose that square of the room somewhere, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's going to go somewhere.
Yeah, and it's not safe. It's just not safe. Adhesive. No adhesive is built to be put on in such thick layers.
Yeah.
I think at maximum depth it should be like 15, 20 mil or something like that.
So that was pissing you off then with them new builds.
Yeah.
I must have had really good borders and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say,
honestly, when I did it, they were good as gold.
Yeah.
But that was, when was I on site? Show me age now. 25 years ago. They don't build them like they used to.
But I think the thing is though, like as time's gone on, from what I can gather, is that the production of houses has, like, they want them built faster than they used to.
Yeah, it's all
I think
profit,
that's right. So I think because of that,
they're putting the squeeze on the chippies. You've got to get that done, and the chippies are on a price work, so they're going to smash it in. It's a knock-on effect, but you being the last man through the gate, you've got to get it right, haven't you?
You do, yeah, and you have to try and like pick up all of these pieces, and there's only so much you can do, and you get over certain things, but at the same time, once again, chatting to like my gaffer at the time, he'd be like, "Don't do it then, Jack. Just say."
Did they not do domestic work then? The company you worked for?
They did do domestic work, but they like 80-90% of their work was new builds, and they used to do like the odd private job. But I was just doing all the new build stuff.
So you'd had enough.
Yeah, I'd had enough. And there's just like just in relation to all that as well. I've always found there's not much pride in any work on site in general, and then there's the whole thing of going back to the speed. You can't be fast enough on there, and it's all about speed. And even now I'm not a fast tiler. I don't try to be fast. I don't class myself as a fast tiler. I like quality. Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing that I've grew to love now is challenging jobs and making things as good as possible. And,
doing some good cuts and getting a really good pattern that you got to match up. Doing
when you're doing all your vein matching, or getting into doing like more of the bespoke sort of like furniture, like the tiled shelves and stuff. I think like that's fun. But you blast the bathroom out in a day, and you don't go home and think, apart from the fact that you make really good money doing it, but it's not really why.
Yeah. You don't get enthusiastic about
the
flat wall.
No.
So you've come from, you was pissed off with the building side of things, and with that company. So how was that transition? I assume you went from there straight to work for yourself.
Yeah, so I started just doing weekends to start with. So
building up a bit of a...
Yeah, I'd be doing Monday to Friday for this company and started getting my weekend work in. And eventually, started doing all the things like setting a Facebook page up, started like really pushing it.
So how long ago was this?
About 3.5 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about 3.5 years ago.
So that would have been peak. That flu
COVID
thing that we had.
That
moody flu.
Yeah, so
it would have been that time then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So it was. So basically, just before COVID again, sorry, hang on, let me gather my bearings.
Get your timeline. When was COVID? It's
March 2020.
March 2020.
March 2020.
I always thought it was like 21. It's 20, isn't it?
It always seems like it's so much closer.
It's a weird few years.
It is.
And everything, so many people are hazy around it. I worked straight through it.
Did you? Yeah.
Fortunately, yeah. But it's just them couple of years that just don't exist anywhere.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
So I had it all off. I didn't. And before then, I was in like a transition period where I'd fell out of love with tiling, didn't know what I wanted to be doing. I was honestly like so up and down with it, and I was trying to like get back into the fitness industry.
Have you always been like that with things?
A little bit,
just
not
in
being
general.
able to commit to something. A little bit, yeah. To be honest with you, yeah.
What's that from then?
I'm not sure.
What about when you was like younger? Was it football team. Did you play football when you was a kid?
I don't do football
Right,
or
do you
anything.
not?
No, I used to
Sport?
skateboard a lot. I used to
Okay.
enjoy skateboard and play a bit of rugby.
Just because the way you come in and out of...
Yeah, it's always been work. I've always found it hard to kind of commit to working for someone.
It is. I couldn't. I mean, what's the word? I'm unemployable now.
Yeah,
I couldn't work for anyone else.
same.
If I had to, then I'd hate it.
Yeah, and I think now, but kind of going forward a couple of years to when I started doing my own thing, like I couldn't get out of bed fast enough. Like when I was doing my own work,
It completely changed your sort of
honestly,
thought
like,
process into it.
Yeah, my missus says to me like, how much of a different person I'm.
Wow.
Like say like lockdown sort of time to when I started doing my own jobs, and you all of a sudden realise that you're running a company and like customers are relying
the
on
main
you.
guy.
Yeah, you're the main guy, and like if a customer says, well, what time are you getting in the morning? You don't have to go and turn around to someone and say, oh, what time am I getting there in the morning? You decide what time you're going to get there. If you want to go and have a lunch break at 9 o'clock in the morning, you can have a
But even the way you speak about it like that, from going about the company,
Yeah.
and as soon as we've now touched on to you setting your business up, straight away you're like, it's like it's lifted you up just in that.
Yeah, I love doing my own thing. No matter what it is, I just love, and I think I just it's been your like baby, isn't it?
It's got to work because
Yeah.
it's all on you.
Yeah.
You've got to make it work.
Yeah, and the more effort you put into it, all this effort and time that you like, it's like a big pot that you like put in like all of your effort and your time and your coins into, and like that becomes so valuable to you then, and like I think it just snowballs as well. You like once you start,
it becomes precious. And you don't want to then lose it. You've built it, or you put X amount of months at the start into it, and all of a sudden you're seeing it grow. You want to keep feeding it because you don't want that pot to.
And you
We're using a pot as a
analogy.
That's the one. Euphemism, analogy. Yeah, you don't want the pot to boil over.
I love things like that. But I think like in my head, that's how I kind of see it. Like it is. It's this like valuable pot.
So you set your Facebook pages up, and did you set Instagram up at the same time? Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah. To be fair, Instagram was a bit before. So sorry, going back to the on-site sort of stuff.
Right.
I was recording myself when I was on site because it gave me that extra little bit of it gave me a bit of purpose for us. I just was so unhappy doing. I couldn't have just tiled without recording myself, as bizarre as it sounds, because recording it allowed me to feel like I was coming away from doing this thing that I wasn't very happy doing. We're actually going home and like having something that was mine, like, so I had this page that I was like, I had, even though it wasn't my business, I could go home and I had something that belonged to me, which was the recording and
content.
like the content. And at the time it was like, it wasn't like so much what I'm doing now. It was just, it didn't make sense. It was just, it could have just
was
been
you putting that, so you're doing that for Instagram? Was you putting it out
Instagram,
there?
Yeah. And even before that, I had a TikTok page years ago. It was like Tile Satisfaction or something.
Right, okay.
That's when I realised there was
something in it.
There was something in it, because those videos were just such silly videos of like tiles just being put onto a bath, like literally one tile, and like they used to get thousands of likes, and that's when I realised that actually there was something in it, and I did set up an Instagram page, which is the one I had now. I don't know when I set that up.
Right, okay.
But yeah,
but you just filmed it when working for that company then to make your day a bit more enjoyable.
Yeah, and to do something for me. Yeah,
so that was probably the start of you going, right, there's something in it.
Yeah.
So then you started your business, just as a sole trader business. So you've set that up, and that transition from leaving the company. Did you finally say to him, look, I'm going this time and I'm not coming back? Yeah.
So things on that site were just not going well, as explained. And then I actually got a little bit ill because I had, at the time I didn't know what it was, but I thought I had like a kidney infection or something. But it actually turned out that I had I started getting dairy intolerance, which is really strange. But my partner, she's like gluten intolerant, dairy intolerant.
And she could see.
Well, we didn't, honestly, I spent about 6 months trying to decipher this problem out, but I was on site, I was really ill, I was having to go to the doctors all the time, I was on antibiotics, so it wasn't getting better, and I ended up having a little bit of time off because of it. And I just didn't end up going back afterwards. I had my own work going on the weekends, and after becoming ill with that and not understanding what it was, I just I just didn't go back basically. Yeah, and once again, still on really good terms with them. I'd talk to them and stuff. And
ladies and gents, just a quick one to say a huge thank you to our new headline sponsor, CT1, the best sealants on the market, voted for by the British public. Not only that, it's made in Britain as well. So go and support a product and a brand that is made in the UK. But I just want to say to you, they've got a brand new product out, which is the BT1. It's a combination sealant and adhesive like the popular CT1, but it's perfect for keeping a hygienic environment. And it's designed to completely stop the growth of bacteria, microbes, and fungus. And not only that, this stuff is strong. Now, it's going to be available at Travis Perkins, Wickes, Jewson's, and pretty much everywhere else, so there's no excuse not to go and give it a go. So we're really happy to be partnering with CT1.
And then at that point, you was like, right, I'm going to
just go for it. Yeah, just go for it. And say I had a bit of traction going on Facebook within like local communities and groups and stuff.
Because where are you? You're Sutton Coldfield?
Sutton Coldfield, yeah.
Is there many tilers around you?
There are some. Yeah, I think it's still I still think it's quite a niche trade.
It's the same as any trade. I think finding a good tiler, finding a good plumber, electrician, carpenter. As soon as people get them, they hold on to them. So you've got to be the best out of all the bunch that people are using in that area, I think.
Yeah, I think because a lot of people have a go at tiling. So but I think actual proper tilers, there's very few.
I can tile, but I would never tile a customer's bathroom.
Yeah.
I've done tiled my house and done bits, but I'd never tile a customer's house. I get my tilers in because that's what they do. Whereas like decorators, people will have a go at decorating their own home. Whereas if they want it bang on, you get the professionals in. You get the guy for that job. But so you've in your area, you're sort of branching out, picking up work, coming in, and your company's beginning to grow and it's doing all right. Yeah.
So once again, down the content sort of route, just started. And I think this kind of is helpful. We get a lot of messages as well. People just ask. I had a phone call off a lad the other day, and he said, wanted to come in and like do a little bit of us to see if we had a spot for it. But just because of the recording stuff we do, there's never much.
Yeah.
I don't even have labourers in with me because there's just not space in a bathroom for
you do everything on your own.
Do everything on my own, all the labouring, all the recording, all the tiling, and he said, I'm just trying to. He said, I'm on site. It's crappy and that. I don't want to be here. He says, and like I just said, like just set your pages up, like just start. It's the first part is the hardest, I think, and it's just getting yourself out there, start getting that snowball rolling, start getting the momentum behind what you're doing. And I think the best way to do that is to just force people to see your work. And for me, that was, I used to do all sorts of crazy stuff, like on Marketplace on Facebook.
Yeah.
I used to put up photos of my bathroom on Marketplace for free and say, and it was just like a little bit of a loophole on there that I found, and I'd just like post photos of my work on Facebook Marketplace and just put it for free, and then like in the description underneath it would just have like my details and stuff, and like let people.
That's a good way of advertising.
Yeah, and I used to get work from it as well.
Did you?
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah,
so as opposed to setting up, because every area's got their Facebook notice board or whatever. So you've done it through Marketplace?
Yeah, I've done it through Marketplace. So
that's interesting.
Talking to you now, I'm just having so many things coming back into my mind because when COVID hit, stopped doing jiu-jitsu, and then I had to like move out of my house, move into like above my dad's flat because I couldn't live in the house anymore. And then it was at that period then that when I transitioned into died hammering Facebook and setting up these marketplace things and started
and really went to town on building your company up, your business up.
Yeah.
So at what point then did the social media side of it come? Like obviously you've touched on, you've done it, but obviously your social media is really gone in the last sort of 12 months, hasn't it? You are getting some massive numbers on Instagram. I haven't looked TikTok-wise. You big numbers on TikTok?
Yeah, it does fairly. I think it was 200k followers on TikTok or something.
So what about your views on your video? Because I know your Instagram videos are in the millions, aren't they?
TikTok does a little bit better.
Does it?
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer?
Instagram as a platform. Yeah, I prefer Instagram as a platform. TikTok's obviously you can monetize on TikTok and stuff. So there's a benefit.
How do you find the sort of the comments and that on TikTok?
Do
you reply to them?
Yeah, I reply to basically everybody on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't reply to people on TikTok anymore just because there's too many. Like,
Yeah.
I can't possibly. My missus would just be like, you know,
constantly on it.
Instagram to me is like valuable because you can build like a good community with Instagram, and I think if people care enough about you and your content on TikTok, they tend to come over to Instagram and like they'll support you from there.
I always find TikTok, the analogy I use is TikTok is like a kid's playground. It's bitchy, it's horrible. People just, they comment crap on it. It's just, if you want my views, if you want to put a video out and go down the pub and tell everyone you've got 5 million views on TikTok, great. It's relatively easy to do.
Yeah.
And I personally don't like the platform. Instagram, for me, I find to be really respectable in the construction industry. You build up really good friends within it. I think it's just more genuine. Yeah. So when you're getting numbers on Instagram, like fair play, you're doing well.
It's more meaningful, isn't it?
Massively. What's your highest rated video, highest viewed video on Insta?
TikTok is just, Instagram, about 15 million or something.
Right. Yeah. And then TikTok higher than that?
30.
Is it?
Yeah, one of the recent ones, yeah.
But you were saying outside earlier on, people have started nicking your content, haven't they?
Yeah.
So how's all that? How does that work? How did you first come about your content being stolen? Because they're using it and monetizing your content.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, their accounts are like monetized. And the first way I came about it, it's so bizarre. I had a message on TikTok, and it was a lad, and he messaged me, and he said, "Has your account been hacked?" And so I opened it up, and I was like, what do you mean, mate? He's like, on Facebook, he's like, you've started posting loads of like religious posts and whatnot. And I was like, can you send me? And I've gone onto my Facebook thinking, like, God, somebody's hacked into my Facebook account. I've gone in there, I'm scrolling through, and I was like,
everything looks all right.
Everything's fine. And I was like, so I've gone back on there. I said, would you mind sending me a screenshot of like what you can see?
Yeah.
So he sent me a couple of screenshots, and as he said, it's like these really bizarre, like religious.
What was the title? What was the account?
JackH.Tile, like my name, because it's a page. People it's not like on Instagram that people can't have the same @ as you. So like with a page, people can have exactly the same page name.
Because sometimes they add like a dot in, don't they? Or put 2 eyes or something.
Not even.
It can be identical.
Honest to God, it was identical name. JackH.Tile and my logo.
Same
you'd think it was my page. You'd think it was my page. Like, I don't know if it had the same description, but same logo, same name. He sent it me, and he sent me the screenshots, and it's like just really bizarre, like a devil and something else, with a really like weird like quote as the description.
And how many followers had that page got?
So I don't know what it had at the time, but recently I managed to, tried to get through getting these account blocked. It was like 15 accounts, all JackH.Tile and all with my logos, and like, as I said, like
using your videos in there as well.
Using all of my videos, like, so I don't know whether they're taking them off like TikTok and Instagrams, but there's apps and programs that you can use to just download the videos like at full like quality and everything as well, and they're just like banging them on.
So they're stealing your video from, let's say, for argument's sake, Instagram. So say they're stealing an 8 million viewed video from Instagram.
Yeah,
doing whatever they do, because in theory, the platform should pick up that it's
original.
It's original content.
Before,
so they're doing something to it, then, aren't they? And then putting it out under your name again, but building up that profile to then start nailing a load of religious stuff.
One of them had like 15,000 followers on there, solely, basically like 80% using my content. And you'd scroll down and there'd be the odd like video that wasn't mine, but it was basically just purely my content. And
so what did you do with that? What straight away you've seen that? What are you doing?
Just reporting them, like messaging family members, like made a group chat with like 8 of us in there, like
getting them
copy and pasted
and
report, but nothing happened. Left it for like 4 weeks, nothing happened. And then ended up having to go down a route of going into like live chats with Facebook.
How's that? Is that hard work?
It's just a pain in the ass, you know, because you feel like you're talking to a robot a lot of the time on there. I don't think they are, but like, you're trying to... They've
got a script to go through, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, it's just you feel like you're going through the same thing every single time, and you get to the end of it and it's like, are you satisfied? So you close it down, and then you look a week later and nothing's happened, and we managed to get some of them disabled, but I looked the other day again and they're just back up and running under my name and everything. And
it's even happening now?
Yeah, it's still happening, man. And like, even looked the other day and it's a little he put up a little post like, I don't think he's English, and it's put up something like, sorry, me were gone so long.
So
and saying like, hi, I'm back again.
Yeah.
I'm back, and started just uploading my content again. Like the other day, I put a video up. What did I put it up on? I think I put it up on Instagram.
Yeah.
And like I removed it like within about an hour of it being up. I wasn't happy with something. And I seen the other day that within that hour they must have seen it, snapped it, and they re-uploaded it again like a couple of weeks
And you had
ago.
already took it,
I took it down, yeah. I obviously wasn't happy with something. I can't remember the reason why I took it down, but they captured it like within the time that it was up. I actually think that these accounts are like AI, to be honest with you.
Yeah. They're going to lock onto, because obviously you're getting big numbers on your Instagram and your TikTok, so they're locking onto them and go, right, let's put a bot account out. Would they be monetizing it? Probably, yeah. I mean, so they're going to, if they're doing that for you, they're doing it for every other content in every field, not just construction,
there's loads
everything.
Of us. Yeah, there's like a bunch of the lads that you've had on here, they're having all of exactly the same problems. It's not just me, but I think anybody's account that is getting traction and is getting views, and they see it as it's a gold mine for them, really, especially if they can they're not getting off their ass and they're just sitting there.
Just sitting there earning money.
And even if they have got it AI sort of like generated as well, and they've just basically got the same content all the time. I showed you one earlier, 17 million views off one of my videos.
Yes, they've stolen one of your videos and they've put it out, and that video's got 17 million views. So they are literally just earning money off that, because as everyone will know, you earn money off content that you put out there, but on that scale, they're earning big money for that.
Especially if they're doing it on multiple accounts,
and that's just yours. They're stealing, 1,000 accounts a week.
Yeah, and there's people way bigger than I am, and like they're putting more content out there, getting bigger numbers, and they're doing it to them as well. And
so what have you done to try and secure that? We was on about the blue ticks just off camera, weren't they?
Yeah, so the blue ticks is one of the things that you can do. Obviously, it just shows that you are the legitimate, because you have to give information to Facebook in order for them to know that you are the real owner of the account. So instantly, if somebody's going to search for Jack H. Tiling or MJ Tiff, whatever, you're going to be the first person that comes up because you're the blue ticked account.
Yeah.
And then the next route we're going down is getting T-shirts made and start getting my face in more of the videos, which I do a lot more of now anyway. So and the way I'm looking at it is, if they are going to steal my content, Facebook don't want anything to do with it. I think as far as they're concerned, they
ain't bothered, are they?
They're acting like they want to do something about it, but the truth of it is like they've got somebody I'm getting all of the views, and then they've got somebody that's stealing the video and getting Facebook even more views, and they're just making more money.
Yeah, Facebook just earning money off it anyway. So they're going to say they're trying to do something, but in reality, they're earning loads of money.
Yeah. So now I just kind of see it as an opportunity. Well, actually, if these people are just going to redistribute my content, if I can just put my face in there with my T-shirts, with my logos on, then I'm just going to get more footfall. So it's kind of the way I'm trying to look at it now. It's annoying though. It's really frustrating. The one I received the other day was this week. I go on there and you see this person got 53,000 subscribers on YouTube, and none of it's their content. They're just re-uploading content. It's stealing it all.
People will do anything to be able to get something for nothing, won't they?
Yeah.
And it's easy because it's digital. It's there. You can screen record anything. You can. Yeah. It is. It's massive. And for someone who's creating content, you're going out your way to spend hours creating it, losing money, working, making the content, for them to just skim it off the top.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I used to get so worked up about it, but now, I just, it used to kill me. But
I bet your missus is like, did your missus understand it?
Yeah, she does, to be fair. Yeah, she deals with a lot.
She's like, oh, don't worry about it. You're like, no, this is me. They're being me.
Yeah, no, she gets it. She gets it. So she's been in with me on the journey, like from the start of like where it all started, like getting off the floor and stuff. So she gets it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can get a lot,
Are you wasting time? I think that some of you probably are, and I have a solution for you. Nobody wants to do any type of admin. Now, I have a solution for you, and it is called Tradify. It's a fully automated job scheduling, invoicing, and quoting all in one place. Now, that software is going to save you 12 hours a week, and all by using a simple software solution. Now, you can try it for 2 weeks, absolutely free, no cards needed, and you'll even get support in person from Tradify themselves. Now, when you're done, you can always come back to me and thank me, but just enjoy the extra 12 hours that you're going to gain from just using the software.
Would you ever stop doing social media? Now?
Like, for what sort of like purpose?
Maybe part of that, maybe that's pissing you off and you can't be dealing with it anymore, or the stress of having to, because you'll have done it the same as I have, and anyone that creates content is going, I've got to get a reel out today. I've got to get this out today.
Yeah.
It can just completely
consume
you. Yeah. I've done it. I go on holiday and like, I need to spend 2 days before editing 3 videos, because when I'm not here, I want to be able to put something out, because if you begin to not feed that algorithm, you drop off again. I've noticed it now. I've slacked a little bit. I need to put some more content out because I've noticed it dropping down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've got to keep it there.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have thought, you know what? I just want to go back to turning up at Norman's house and doing his bathroom, without having to worry about this, that, and the other. Even today I was doing a toilet and it was doing my head in, and get rid of the camera, let me sort this out. But then in your head you're thinking, this is great content.
Yeah.
So have you ever thought of gone,
Oh yeah, man,
knocking it on the head?
Yeah, I don't think I've kind of had the thoughts, you have all sorts of thoughts come to your head with it, and you kind of think to yourself, like, is it worth it and stuff? And I had a wobble a couple of weeks ago, actually. Just feeling like quite fed up with everything, and I think you go through phases with content creation as well, where things are going really well. You're like, yeah, everything's going well. I'm going to keep doing this. Oh, that worked. I'm going to keep doing this, keep doing that. And then all of a sudden things stop working, but you're still putting the same amount of hours into recording, same amount of hours into editing, still losing all of the money whilst you're working, doing it all. But then all of a sudden, everything you're still doing isn't working anymore. Yeah. And that's like really like unmotivating. And I think that can lead to having like those negative thoughts and emotions and stuff. But I just think I had a couple of weeks off about 3 weeks ago, and I was just like, I came off the tools a little bit, slowed down. Basically, I was still recording myself. I just came off social media.
Like a reset.
Yeah. I think I've always needed that sometimes. But
that goes back to what you were saying earlier on. Even though this is now your baby, and even though you're your boss, you've still got that, I'm in it and then I'm out of it. I'm in it. So you've even though you said it earlier on, it was being told what to do by people, but now you're that. So there's got to be something else.
I think a massive thing with me as well is I'm like an all or nothing person. Okay. Like, I'm very, very much like, if I want to do something, which is why the social media thing has become like,
does it consume you?
Yeah, like massively. And ever since I had that break, that break has just done wonders for me. I feel so less attached to it. And it's not that I don't care about it, but like having like sleepless nights about just wanting it to do well, just wanting it to get better. And there's other like little things as well, like to do with it. Where
you work with a few companies as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So you've obviously got to do. Is it like the Ruby cutter? You work with those Ruby?
Yeah. So we work with Ruby.
So you've got to. Surely they've got certain things that they want from you.
Yeah,
or are you contracted with them? Without prying too much.
No, we're not like, there's no like written contract.
So you haven't
gone,
right, we want you to produce a couple of reels a month for us.
No, but it's just, with the companies that I work for, I produce between 3 and 4 reels per month. Okay. And that's kind of, that's my end of the deal, I think people, I've heard comments from people thinking like, oh, you need to hit certain numbers, and it's like, we don't. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not going to make something that I don't think is going to work. Like I'm doing it for my own good as well, and it's like, if something doesn't work, like, we're all in it together. Like, I put the same amount of hours into each of my videos, and sometimes things work and sometimes things don't, but it's more about just having that consistency. So like with what you're saying there, if you do pull out for a couple of weeks, it's
and you've got a brand that's going, hang on a minute, we want you to do X amount of reels, but you're going, I want 2 or 3 weeks off. Yeah. Again, that comes in. Yeah. You're like, I'm having 3 weeks off, but shit, I need to put some content out for them. And then it can just devour you.
Yeah.
Can't it?
Especially
sometimes?
when you kind of you do your own thing to have the control over like what you're doing, then all of a sudden you can feel like I don't ever feel like I'm under a thumb, but you can feel you feel a bit guilty, really. You know, you feel like you say you're going to do something, you want to do it.
Yeah.
But it's in the same sense of even though I am sort of like contracted to like those numbers, I tend to go above and beyond anyways. You know, if I pull back sometimes, or I don't feel like putting so much out 1 week or 1 month, then you know you can make up for it here and there.
I think a lot. If you work with a good brand, you know, I work with Unilight and that, and there's it's sort of like a bit of a gentleman's agreement where put content out, but like Al's always said to us, don't ram it down people's throats.
Yeah.
Just put it out organically, and that is a lot more. People receptacle. What's the word? People receive
it. Or,
they're more receptacle to it. That's what I was trying to get out. They're more receptacle to it when it's just in the background. Like whenever I do bits to camera, I've got the lights in the background here, so people can see them. Every now and again, I'll do a post or a reel or mention it on my YouTube, so it's not rammed down people's throats.
people hate it.
Yeah, they can see through it. People hate it, and then the comments coming, "Oh, you've sold out this, that, and the other." No, I'm working with a company, so you know I'm earning a bit off them. I'm getting you deals, so you're saving money. The company's selling the product, so they're doing. Everyone's winning.
Yeah.
And people still don't like it.
Yeah.
People don't like you doing well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People hate the fact that you do. I like it when, you know, Jack, I've seen that reel you've done, mate, wow, drop your message, well done, it's amazing. But other people are like, oh, have you seen he's done 10 million on that reel?
So bitter.
Yeah. I hate that mentality.
Yeah.
Really don't
There's
like
a lot
it.
of them out there. And, you know, you were saying that how bad TikTok can be sometimes, but like I think one of the worst ones I've realised is Facebook.
Yeah.
It is horrendous.
Yeah.
And most comments on Facebook I get are just people just nitpicking and just
Can't
sort
believe
of
he's
like,
done that.
yeah, like
Can't
why,
believe-
yeah, like just like, oh, I can't think of any worse. I can't think of anything worse to do with my time than to go onto other people's posts and like put them down, you know, about like what they're doing. I'm very much like, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it at all.
But there's so many people that just want that reaction.
Yeah.
They want the person that they're pulling up on, whatever, you know, the way you've cut that. They just want you to react. And then so I've had it where someone said something and I've reacted to it. Within about 5 or 6 messages, oh, sorry about that, mate. I really like what you do.
Yeah.
Well, hang on a minute. Why are you coming at me for... and they just want that interaction.
I think people deep down, they just want that interaction, like what you just said there. I think people deep down don't really want people to hurt. I think...
They want to be noticed, don't they?
And I think it's... I actually think it comes... I've had a lot of time to like kind of think about that from like having like such negative comments. I say it used to bother me a lot, and like now, my way of looking at it and through hearing off... a lot of watching other podcasts and stuff like JRE and stuff like that. One of the things I hear him say all the time is you're never going to get a super successful person. You don't ever see a really successful person going like, oh, have you seen him doing that? Oh, have you seen him like doing this? Because people that are successful don't look down on people really and like put people down, but you always get the people down at the bottom, you know, like sort of like trying to like, oh, like have you seen him doing this? Like you don't put people down that are below you, like as silly as it sounds.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's kind of the way I look at it now. Like anybody that puts you down, it's just because they're below you, you know, or they see you as, you know, they're seeing that you're doing well, basically. And I think when people, and it's a form of jealousy, isn't it?
Oh, massively. So company-wise, tiling company-wise, where are you going with that? You've got your social media, that's going well. What's the next phase for your... is it just you?
Yeah.
Just you. So what's the next phase? Where do you want to go?
Just bathroom renovations now.
Is that what you're concentrating on now?
Bathroom renovations, and I want to start doing something I've loved doing recently is like doing like tiled furniture. So like doing like tiled side tables, the shelves. And
what, like standalone tables?
Yeah, like it's only very basic, like the ones that I've made, but it's basically just it's essentially just like a long rectangle, and out of like you could make it like 600 mil high, and like you cut it out of like a 1200 tile.
Right.
And like, you know, you can like wrap you cut it into 4 pieces, basically miter all of the edges, and you just like, you can have like the vein like wrapping through the whole table.
What, so a standalone, just a standalone table made out of tiles?
Yeah. So like you can like,
no framework or nothing inside.
So build like out a Jacko board on the inside,
Right,
like
okay.
tile back a board, and then just tile the outside, put a lid on it, and like resin fill all of the corners.
What, and
stuff.
have it as a feature in a room?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a couple of them at home now, which I've
I'll
built.
have to have a look. I haven't seen them.
The first time I ever practiced doing like mitering, because I'd seen people build. Have you seen the sinks that people have made?
No.
Nah, out of tiles. I'll have to show you some
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll have a
Some
look.
really cool stuff out there. And I'm just, you know, I love doing it, and I'm wanting to sort of like follow that a little bit as well. And I'm now getting inquiries, like whenever I do bathroom renovations. I've just built a shelf a couple of days ago. And it's just out of tiles. You just cut it's totally bespoke. The customer can pick whatever tile they want, whatever size they want it to be, and I'll just build it out of tiles. Let's just say they want it. I think the one I've just built was like 24.5 centimeters from the corner. Like, so say you have your shower enclosure, the corner in the shower enclosure, about to say 25 centimeters out, and it comes across diagonally into the other wall.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
Yeah.
So it's taking the corner out of it.
It's a corner shelf. Yeah, it's a little corner shelf. So you have your tile backer board.
Yeah.
You cut your tiles down all to size with your overhang for your mitre. And with the one that I made recently and this one, there's a vein running through the tile. So like I've carried that like through the tile down the face so like the face of the shelf is like this as well. It's coming across and then back.
Oh, is it floating?
As well.
It's not all the way down?
Yeah, floating.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then basically you just like anchor that into the wall, like into the grout joints.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you won't form that in when you're tiling the walls?
No.
That will go in afterwards?
Installed afterwards,
So it's a standalone shelf?
Yeah.
in a sense.
And use PGB to install it with some like
CT
anchor points.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, like he's there. He's going to be there. Nicola, Jack's coming for you. So what sort of bit of advice would you give to anyone coming into the tiling or the social media side of stuff or whatever, apprentices coming into it? You, like you said, when you first started, you was flitting in and out and you didn't really know if it was for you. If you could go back to yourself back then, what sort of advice would you give yourself?
I think it's important to like know what you want, but equally, obviously, if you're going to commit to something, or if you want something, or if you're going to get something out of anything, you need to at least, like, you know, put the hours in and sink some time into these things. And nothing happens overnight either. I think it's all about consistency. I mean, you're talking about people wanting to do the social media or get into the tiling. I think now you've either got to go to college or you've got to try and find yourself a good company which you can go and do an apprenticeship with, and just like put those hours in, and you never and equally you never stop learning either. I think it would be the same with you as well. You know, there's always like innovation going on. There's always better ways to do things.
You never know everything.
No.
And you'll always, even if you've done the same job 100,000 times, one day you'll cut a tile differently or use a different tool on that, and you'll go, this works so much better.
Exactly.
Why have I not been doing that? Or you'll see something on social media that another tiler's put out. I'm going to try that. It might be that straightforward and easy. Sometimes stuff is too in your face. You completely disregard it. Then when you see someone doing it, you're like, oh yeah, I can do it like that.
It's sometimes you do just get flashed with these things, or like, and that's why it's also. And then even if you have got yourself to a point of where you've been tiling for a couple of years, but you feel like you just kind of you're at a bit of a dead end, just don't be afraid to switch things up as well. And I know it seemed like I was a little bit AWOL at the start, but I think if you do feel like if you feel like you've hit a ceiling or you've hit a wall, go and spend the day with another tiler or something, or message somebody. I think the great thing about social media now, like I've made so many good friends on Instagram. Got more friends on Instagram now than like I had before, because of like you kind of get into this you get into a circle, don't you? And
you do.
I think you've got to.
You're all talking about the same thing, be it tiling, plumbing, bathroom, social media. You're involved. Being around people doing the same thing as you makes you grow, makes you better. You want to be the best that you can be, and then you want to be better than that guy.
Yeah.
And then that guy.
Yeah.
And then he wants to be better than you. So everyone's pushing each other along.
100%. And like when one of the things I will say, like a lot of people I see a lot of people sort of, I had a message today off a guy, and he was saying like, do you have any advice for like me, because I want to sort of start posting my content and everything. And I think we can all overcomplicate it sometimes and think like, I need to have the perfect piece of content, and it needs to be like this, and it needs to be in that bathroom. It's like just do it. And like there's a thing I always say, it's analysis paralysis.
Right.
And you can overanalyze something to the point of where you're oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and it's been 4 weeks and you've still not done it. Just upload it, and then upload something again, and upload something again. And by the time you got to that point of where you'd have never uploaded something, you've uploaded 10 posts.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time, man, like, and we can also, even though we talk a lot about like the negative aspects of social media and like people are toxic and everything, you're going to get that no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get away from it, but you can't let that disable you either, and like stop doing what you want to do. And if you have the urge within yourself to upload a piece of content, just upload it, and like making a choice.
As long as you don't take everything to heart. The way people write, even a text message, I could send you one text message. I could send it one way, but you could read it completely different. So sometimes you've got to look at the way someone's written something and maybe read it from two different perspectives. It might not be they're not having a pop at you. They're going, why don't you like that? Why don't you do it this way?
Yeah.
But you'll read it, why don't you do it this way?
Yeah.
It's the same words, but it's just read
Feels
slightly
personal,
different.
because I think
everyone is on the defensive on social media, or a lot of I'll read a message and go, what's he mean by that?
Yeah.
And then I'll reread it and go, oh, actually, I read that wrong.
Yeah. I think sometimes you got to like step outside of our own like bodies really, and sort of like view it from from like a fly on the wall or something. I don't know, because I think sometimes we can become so emotionally attached to our work and our bathrooms or whatever it is, that when somebody makes a comment about something, it's easy to think with like the emotional part of our brain, whereas a lot of the time, sometimes you've got to think of it from the logical sort of, constructive criticism sort
That's
of like
the word,
side of
isn't
it.
Constructive criticism.
And that's constructive criticism is good. Like, I'll argue with that all day long. Constructive criticism is good. And it doesn't mean that everybody should be dishing it out. But if you get a bit of constructive criticism and you can see the truth in it, then
you see the point they're trying to make.
We're not all perfect either. We're all able to make mistakes. And I think, the sooner we all sort of like accept the fact that we're not perfect, and I think that's one of the things that kind of gets me through it now. People make comments about work and stuff but I don't think I'm the best tiler in the world, and I think I'm constantly just trying to improve myself and get better. And
every day get a bit better.
1% better every day, and what more can you do? If you're not out there trying to put negativity in the world yourself, and you're just trying to be a better you and do whatever you're trying to do, then let them say it.
Yeah, exactly. Mate,
let it evolve.
Great point to finish on. Jack, I've loved having you in. How was your first podcast? First podcast
Yeah,
you've done?
first podcast, man.
How was it?
It's amazing.
Right, enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was great. It's great
Time
chatting
flies.
with you, Mark. Yeah.
Good, man. Good.
No, it was good.
No, really enjoyed it, mate. Thanks for coming on. And there you go. Yeah. First one in the bag.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure there'll be a few more to come now.
Nice one,
Nice
Mark.
one. Cheers,
Thank
Jack.
you.
Cheers, mate.